Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see what happens. Looks like it's going to be okay. Come on, baby. Yep. 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 Okay. So we're good to go. Very cool. All right. So let me we'll roll the show in about 3 minutes. I'm going to just get it set up. So let's share this to the SoulogyOneStudios page. All right. And then we can go back to Zoom. Now, it's on my page. It's on my page if you want to share it to your page, or you want me to share it for you?
No, it's cool. Thank you.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. I love Irish whiskey, by the way.
I love Jack Daniels.
I love honey whiskey Jack Daniels. And I love Guinness. That's my favorite beer. Okay, so let me go into Facebook and share to our affiliated groups. There's 11 people in the house, in the Zoom room. Welcome, everybody. Okay, let's see. What is this? Huh. But I got to answer this little love note from Morgan. Okay, so we got Todd Medina. I'm really liking these. Well, it's an early show for us over here. It's 10 o'clock in Hawaii, but I would imagine it's what, 9 p.m. over there where you're at?
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here we go. 31 people in the house. Let's go ahead and check the sound. Okay, it's working. All right, let me just go in here and share. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see some that I don't know. Esther O'Kane from Derry, North Ireland. Yeah. These are all your friends, all your family.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to share the Soulogy group. Shout out to Jen McCarty, and the event is happening. Lisi and Damon at Rising Above, Galactic Federation of Light, 1111 Movement, Jessica Woods, 5D High Vibe Tribe, Sean Christopher, Universal Brothers System Circle, Corey Marshall, Lavelle Zimmerman, Amon Ra, and the gang. News and Revelations of the Light would be Juan Jose Vallejo Civicos. And who else? Let's see. Twin Flame Healing Network. I forget who that is, but they do great work. And let's see. And New Earth Tribe, Star Tribe. Okay. Pure Love and Pure Life. Okay. So let's let me just say some quick hellos. If these shows resonate with you, please share. This is how we keep this thing going. And thank you all for your continued love and support and contributions that allow us to keep moving on. You know, some people might consider them small donations, but they add up, and somehow or another, by the seat of our pants, we're able to keep going every day. Thank you so much. Tom Bear's in the house, Sherilyn from Sedona, Maria Iverson from Sweden, Ann Scuglin, Belinda Frank, Annie Weberly, thank you for continued love and support. Annie, always. Esther O'Kane, Glenn Ray, beautiful Glenn Ray, Susan Curtis, Sean Knight, Martin McNichol, a lot of Irish names here. Aniki Top, Amanda Lawrence. Amanda Lawrence. What can we say about Amanda Lawrence?
There are no words.
She's an angel. She is an angel. Speaking of angels, Angela Williams, Stephanie Devlin, Marcy Duros, Britta Junker from Germany, Elena Stone, Agnes, Elias Antara Ma, Candace Lewis, Nikki Gresham Record, Shannon Rose Corona, David Brown. He says, my subject matters today have all been connected to Ireland. Sarah Griffiths, Maria Sutcliffe, Satara Piscador, Lanier Holbeck, Leo Tilda Mustang, Catalina de Amor, and Amanda says, go girl, you rock. We're almost there. Let's see. Bonnie Krislioski from Saskatchewan, Canada. Carol Whitney, Laura O'Shea, another one. Mark Dougherty from Donegal, Ireland. My God, Ireland's in the house tonight. Carl Streener, Rhetoric Hare, Maria Sutcliffe, and Marianne Savino from the New York City area. We got 85 people in the house. 85 people in the house and another 11. Oh, actually, we got 101 now. So I haven't got more than that. The
Half of
energies
them
are,
Irish.
the energies are aligning. Yeah, there's a tremendous number of new faces here. This is exciting. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Todd Medina. This is Soul Speaks 5D. This is the Soulogy.One network. Our job is to continue adding frequencies so an ever-expanding vibration is a mirror of the universe. We just call it Soulogy. It's all just the same energy that we all share. So it's a real pleasure to have this beautiful divine goddess with us today. From Ireland. So welcome to Soul Speaks 5D. Thank you for sharing space with us today, Melissa, and honoring us with your presence. Everything's going to be all right.
Thank you.
So a lot of folks, a lot of divine feminines have come on to the show in 1,000 episodes for the first time, and it's been a real honor, as I've learned with the guidance of a divine feminine, Morgan Lee, to listen and to hold space at an expanded level and to learn and grow. I'm like a client in a session on every one of these shows, and a lot of them have, naturally have some nervousness and stuff, but you seem to be very calm and cool and collected. So, yeah. So again, welcome and thank you for sharing space and bringing all your family with us. We got 102 in the house and another 12 or so in the Zoom room. So I know your energy. Morgan has been checking it out for a while. Then Amanda mentioned you, which was all in alignment. We were already headed that direction. As Morgan had been gone for a while, came back and was handling the scheduling and was going to reach out to you. But I don't know a whole lot about you. And I don't know how much the Soulogy crowd will on the live and the replay. I used to ask everybody, when did you wake up? I kind of got away from it now, but I'm curious to know what's your story like? Did you always have the gifts that you have? You seem to have this energy if you just came out, like in a very powerful way recently.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It's like I have very recently just got out of my own way. That's the best way to put it. My story is the resistance that I put up, the fight I put up against myself, not to feel, not to be, not to love or accept love. I basically went at all of this backwards. In 2012, it took a series of a lot of incidents to catch my attention in very close proximity to, I won't say wake me up, I would probably use the terms slap me up.
Yeah.
It's a bit more effective.
I can relate.
In a nutshell, within the space of 6 months, I lost my dad to cancer. I crashed into and hit a horse in the middle of the road. When I was driving, it went through the windscreen of my Jeep, and 3 months later, my marriage came to a very abrupt end. You have a separation after that, which is a battleground. Then in the mix there, we have 4 house moves in 2 years. We have trying to make peace with myself, trying to keep everything in the air, failing miserably, and that's all pretty much within a very confined space and time. And I kept fighting it, and everybody and everything around me. I have been studying this whole the field, the path, the light workers path, I guess, since 2009.
Wow.
But I ignored every single thing that I was learning about. I knew there was something outside of me. Sorry, I thought that there was something outside of me all the time. And so I sought endlessly while I was internally fighting and struggling. I kept looking outside of me for the answer. I failed epically. And on top of failing epically, my whole world just did a complete 360 flip. And so I realized that a good part of that journey, so between 2012 up until 2000 and now, really, that if I didn't stop fighting with myself, if I didn't drop the fight, that I was going to destroy myself from the inside out. And so here I am. And the reason I show up now is because I realized how much destruction, how much pain, how much suffering, how much attachment, how much just pain in my life I had been the cause of myself. Because it's easy for us to blame everything and everyone outside of us.
Yeah.
And so the day came when I literally went toe to toe with myself. And this version of me now, thankfully, is winning.
So when you went toe to toe with yourself, did it just happen instantaneously, or did it still take it? Yeah, I know. It reminds me of when I started. It was the same types of multiple traumas like so many of us had in a short period of time, 2011, 2012. And I remember projecting it all, not most of it out. And then it came to me, the circumstances and consequences are the same damn thing. So, take the responsibility. But it took me a long time.
Yeah.
It took me quite a while, to actually put that into operation. So now, did you have were there like specific bases of the universe speaking to you? You're from Ireland. I mean, was there Celtic divine essences or fairies or dragons or Merlin or,
No, I guess up until getting caught up in the war with myself, I was very oblivious to the magic all around me, to be honest with you.
But you were studying the light worker path from prior to your trauma.
So what I've studied is lots of different healing modalities, and I've studied addictions, trauma. I've studied emotions. I've studied using the likes of sound frequencies. I studied such a wide range of information that I got ridiculously lost.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. There was too much. Too much. And I kept searching outside of me for the answers. And it was such a shock and a good kick up the arse to find out that they were already here. They're already here. And that's why I'm passionate now about getting out of my own way, despite how nervous I was, because if you saw me an hour ago, you wouldn't be saying that I was all cool and have my shit together.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But it's because it's really important. It's really important now more than ever that people out there own their shit, that they take accountability and responsibility for themselves, that they empower themselves, that they stop handing that control, that power over to everyone and everything outside of them. And I did it for so long, so long, that when I say I'm fearless in the pursuit of happiness, I am.
Yeah.
I am now. But it took, like I said, going toe to toe with myself, because I realized I was the only one keeping me in that suffering, in that attachment.
That's the thing about going toe to toe with yourself. The only one who gets their ass kicked is you.
Yeah, but we don't realize it. They say even for example, anger, and anger is a huge topic surrounding relationships, for example, in particular, separations, divorce and stuff. Any sort of a turbulent relationship, anger is like holding on to a hot coal with the intention of throwing it, and the only person who ever gets burnt is you. Well, I was on fire because I felt like everything outside of me was determining my whole reality, my whole future, everything. And I had the battle of my life to silence my mind. It still plays havoc with me, but we're learning to be friends now.
So when did you, it's fascinating. Thank you for sharing this. This is good energy. Great energy. So when did you really start to expand? I just get the impression that you know, like you really just jumped in with both feet. You know, maybe in the past few months, there's been a lot of powerful energy since specifically since the solstice in December. When did you really start to come out?
I have tiptoed in this field for the last since 2017, ever so gently putting myself out there, because I was terrified to do that. I was terrified to be completely vulnerable. I was terrified of what other people would think, what other people would say. And so I kept myself shielded nicely. I wanted other people to know that if I can come through adversity like I did, and that, I mean, that's only a fraction of the story, to be honest with you. But if I could come through that, you know, pin down the full-time job. I work as a prison officer as well as doing this stuff.
Holy shit.
You want me on your team. But I also work, so I work as a prison officer. I have 3 epic kids. This is my passion. I love this. And I wanted to create something that would send out a message that if I can do this, and I'm an everyday person, a mum of 3, or working full-time, that if I can come through the things that I've come through and make all of those emotions that we fight endlessly not to feel, your friends, if you make peace with these, that if I can do that and transform my whole entire life, then you can too.
Yeah.
But I was gracefully doing it. And then as it happens, as the universe is guaranteed to give you a good butt whooping every now and again. In October to December last year, I got it again.
Yeah.
And I literally got taken to the ground. And at this stage, I'm like, I'm done. None of this shit even makes sense to me anymore. And I hit a place where I completely had no choice. Because keep in mind, if you're fighting in warrior mode, and that fight mode has served you for as long as it served me, to come out of that is like alien.
Yeah.
But I had no choice. It's let go or be dragged. And in January of this year, in fact, I came across, it was December, I came across the most incredible man on the planet called Martin McNichol, who has not only transformed my life, he has transformed the lives of the people who are precious to me all around me at the minute. This man is the embodiment of love, and I can't state that enough. I also came across Nikki Hamid and Glenn Ray. I also came across Amanda Lawrence and Shanine Banrian as well. And all of a sudden, everything, and I mean everything, shifted. The momentum that I've had for the entirety of my life switched. And instead of it being fear-based, it was love-based.
Yeah.
And with the support of these people around me, locking arms, because that's what we're here for. We're here for this connection. But we're hardwired to think that you've got to do it on your own. And leaning in with these people around me, the people in my community, my own friends, my own family, I've completely changed the energetic momentum in my life. And it's just been transformational. So now I'm like, I'm just saying yes to everything.
I'm glad you said yes to coming on. So you hit that point of surrender. And by the way, my favorite saying is "let go or be dragged." So sounds like you're you know, a lot of things are happening. One is that soul tribe coming together, that connectivity. You know, I like to think of it as you know, you've got a divine holy matrix or grid, and the foundational structures of that grid are these folks like you and Amanda. And
yeah, the synchronicities are unbelievable. I went from not knowing who Amanda was to finding her divinely timed via social media. That's why what you do here is it's paramount. It's precious. It's imperative that it sustains. To spending a full day in Glastonbury in the UK with her in February. So you're talking like being like a kid at Christmas. That was me that day.
there must have been some spectacular stuff happening, because I've been honored to collaborate with her quite a bit, and did a couple of things at the tour. You know, there was Archangel Michael blue light coming in, and just different stuff happening. So I would imagine, especially being on that holy portal, must have been just incredible, absolutely incredible. Now you've got 3 kids. How old are your kids?
Forgive me for pausing, because it's not like I've forgotten how old they are, but I'll explain in a minute. They are 10, 11, and almost 15. But there's a year and 4 days between my 2 boys, and they were both born at 32 weeks with 2 premature babies within a year and 4 days. That's why I never remember.
Wow. Wow. That's like me and my 2 sisters. They were all born within 35 months, and they were born less than a year apart, like 51 weeks apart. So what's it like? What's your transformation in your energy field in your home been like with these 3 children being a part of it? Are they affected? Are they helping you? Do you get messages from them? Are they getting, you know, are they gaining in the wisdom in the literal sense from you, or is it just happening energetically?
They are my greatest teachers without exception.
Yeah.
My daughter in particular, because what she does is mirror me back to me, and I cannot handle it. So what that looks like is I'm here and I'm trying to get a hand on the everyday things around the house, playing catch up. Everybody who's in my own community knows the battle I have on a daily basis to catch up with the laundry here.
Oh yeah.
And I get overwhelmed, and I might prioritize all the wrong things and get agitated or you know, overwhelmed here. And she will turn around and say to me something like what I would say to other people. And it's like, that's your stuff.
Yeah.
That's your stuff. Don't project it on me. Don't project it this way.
Oh, shit.
So it's things like that. Or if I hear my boys are at an age where they're quite boys. They're boys. Yeah. And then next thing I'll hear one of them go, Charlie, that's not, you don't speak to somebody that you love like that.
Wow.
Or, you know, that's not very respectful. And it's little things like that. When I hear them, I'm going epic. I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
another important thing is their freedom to express themselves emotionally speaking, which is brilliant in one sense and a nightmare as a parent the next. Because we're coming from the conditioned, generational, because I said so, you know, do that now. Why? Because I said so. Whereas these guys are completely expressing themselves as people and how they feel. And while it's very refreshing to see, I'm the middle generation. I'm the black sheep who never really conformed to the house rules in our house, but still find sometimes when I speak, my mother comes out of my mouth.
Isn't that funny how that happens?
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that's now you've got a lot of energy around you. The angel wings. I can see these cards up on the mantle. That looks like some type of ancient primordial statue back there.
That's the Buddha, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So did your kids see you make this conversion? I mean, do they even talk about it, or do they just pick this stuff up energetically?
I just became the change and they watched.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I would walk into my daughter's bedroom and hear her hear solfeggio sound frequencies being played as she's falling asleep. Or I hear or see my boys walk around the garden, for example, with their shoes off for grounding. I will see one of the smallest guy, he's very intuitive, come in and pick up little cards or crystals, and everybody's just, they're quietly just picking up everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like by osmosis. So you're not actually directing them to do anything. They're just picking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now you have to balance, and I have a past full of kids, and they're long gone. I don't have kids anymore here, but I know how much work that is. And then the working, that's a pretty intense job, you know? And then when do you have time to do this stuff, the spiritual stuff?
Just on my days off at the moment. So I have to be very, organized with my time anyway. So I just carry it through when the days I'm not on duty, I'm on duty here.
Yeah. Now,
basically.
and so, but how do you bounce back from, because I know the prison system, I know it has to be very matrix oriented, you know. How do you bounce from there? Do you hold space there? Do you just conform there and then come back and put on a different face, or how do you do it?
I can't conform. I just can't now. Yeah. And so I actually don't see myself any different inside or outside of the walls. I just am myself.
Yeah.
And so this way of living and being and doing here now, I am there also. And that also has a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
Around me.
Yeah.
Without exception.
You're anchoring space, I would imagine, and transforming your field, which you carry into the prison, and that's got to be affecting other people, especially since you don't take any shift. So let me ask you, I love asking this question with people. Now, are you a practitioner? Do you healing for others, or one-on-one, that type of thing? Okay, we'll talk about that later. I want to make sure that people know how they can contact you and where they can find you. But in terms of when the energies hit, or you get triggered, or your daughter gives you a mirror and you're uncomfortable or whatever, how do you deal with that on a personal level? How does Melissa deal with it?
Now I turn in. I turn in. And that's new, but it's the only way. When we're triggered, the easiest thing is to react. It's the natural response. It's to react, and as opposed to responding. I'm very aware of the mirrors of me and around me, in particular these guys here.
Yeah.
And so when I am triggered, and I'm human, it's going to happen on a daily basis multiple times. Now I turn in and I ask, what is this situation trying to show me about me?
Yeah.
I would be very emotionally detached from my story. So I've done the work, I've done the shadow work, but I don't touch the wounds. And I think that's really important, because it's really easy for people to use situations to keep a guard up in front of them. Yeah. And not to live the life that they came here to do. Yeah. And so I honor, this is what I try to do actually, try to honor the body, really feel into what's happening, because your body's always trying to communicate with you. Honor the mind. What is this trying to tell me? What is trying to be communicated to me by me?
Yeah.
Honor the heart. Am I saying yes to me here, or yes to you? Which I've done my entire life. I would have said yes to you and no to me.
Yeah.
Honor the heart and honor the breath. Breathe. Be here now. Yeah. There's so many people out there right now who are hell-bent on trying to not feel. I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel like this. How common is that?
Yeah.
And if they only realize that the key to their freedom, the key to their inner peace is to feel, is to be, is to make peace with everything as if you created it, because you did. And I know now, looking back, that everything that I've created in my life, I am so grateful for. Every single thing. Does it mean that I don't get triggered? I do. I'm human. But I know that it's on me.
Yeah.
I would have responded, or rather reacted in the past, out of a place of trying to guard or mind or protect myself from trauma, from shitty experiences, from hard times. But the responsibility is on me now. to take ownership of my triggers and my shadows, and to shine the light on them, to highlight them. And that's kind of the way it goes now. But it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It takes a lot of, it's a daily practice, 1,000 times a day. And it never lets up, and it won't let up. There's many people out there saying, when is this going to get a bit easier? When is the intensity of this going to lighten up? Own your shit. Own it. Because life isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. But if you don't take it back in your own hands, then who is? Because, and I said this in another interview, I thought I'd never say it again, but it's the truth. There are no knights in shining armor coming in here.
Mm-hmm.
There's not. I describe them as assholes in tinfoil. So you gotta take it into your own hands, and you've got to be the change you want to see in your world. Stop waiting. This is life. This is precious. It's happening now.
Yeah, that's right. You'll only be Melissa once, and I'll only be Todd once. So, the human is the hero. And the only other thing I could say after that incredible commentary is, I am soul. I am soul. Fuck everything else. When it gets right down to it, that's it. Yeah, that's powerful. Very powerful. Yeah. So what do you think of what do you think of the collective story? Like, being here, I mean, it's, to me, every day becomes more and more honor. And like, we're on the forefront, the outer breath of Mother Universe. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but something is going on here. And the proof is getting more and more, I mean, you can't deny it. Every day, it just gets more and more in your face. And at the center of it, of course, is your own shift, your own shit. That, like you're talking about. But what do you think's happening from your perspective?
Everybody is just done. They're done. They're done with the pain. They're done with the suffering. They're done with the control. They're just done. And anything that's not in its purity, it's not in its authenticity, that it's not in its integrity, is falling everywhere. Everywhere. And I think people are realizing now, because of the capacity to reach out and communicate now across the world globally, hence why Facebook, etc., are making it a little bit more difficult for voices to be heard and for messages to go out there, because there's been so much conformity for generations. And everybody's done. And people are finally realizing that they deserve the love that they give everybody else. They deserve the happiness that they see other people with. And I think, I mean, even personally for me, like I said, I can feel the momentum shift.
Yeah.
Because I know the opposite intimately.
Yeah.
And the thing about this now is, and especially moving forward with the generations that are coming in behind us, when you stop trying to teach kids, for example, algebra that they're never going to use, and give them the tools and techniques to own their shit, to own their emotions, to tap into how they feel, as opposed to being told, sit down, open your books on page 10, read chapter 1. And if you don't know that chapter upside down and inside out, where society is going to label you as not enough.
Yeah.
So the revolution has to change, has to be from within, has to be. And I can feel the shift in me, and I'm one. And what's in one is in the whole. So if everybody takes ownership of themselves, everybody, then so much will change. So much will change. But it has to begin with you.
Yeah. You can have all the multidimensional aspects in just, you know, in an arm's length away. You can have anything and everything, but you can't have shift without the human.
Yes.
Cannot.
Yes. And that's what everybody, it's the funniest thing. Everybody's trying, like I said, not to feel.
Yeah.
And feeling is what we're here for. We're here to feel. We're here to integrate what it means to remember the divinity within you while mastering the human.
Yeah.
And how do you master the human? You master the human with connection, vulnerability, courage, feeling, emotions. And you stop trying to dull shit down with everything and anything that's outside of you.
Yeah. Magic. What do you think our potential is? I mean, individually, collectively, time slipping. I mean, time is not slipping away. Time is becoming non-existent. I mean, do you think we can do supernatural things, the divine beings that we are, whenever we want to, in the very near future, you know, in our lives? So have you seen magic in your life? It seems like,
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you have.
Yeah.
Transformation. How do we cultivate that? How do we increase our potential to create instant manifestation, magical manifestation, change, transformation?
Stop letting fear immobilize you. Stop letting fear rob you from the magic that's all around you. I'll give you an example. And this shit's still blowing my mind, I'm going to be honest. The end of March, I took myself to Edinburgh to a 3-day conference with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And it was just magic. It was a Christmas present I bought for myself. I'm very good to myself. But my point is the magic that unfolded there for me, when I let fear take a back seat and I did what he taught us how to do in the event, which was literally get the heart-mind coherence. And when I could feel it, and I took my ass up to the stage after the event and I spoke to his PA and I said to her, this is transformational stuff. It has transformed my life, that and many other things. Do you have something that you can take into prisons? And this lady looked at me and she told me a story herself that one of her family members was in prisons and that she was trying to make him see differently. And I explained to her that you can't, that the change has to be from within, the shift has to be from within. But I went up and I asked them, if they don't have something already, please can they? Please can they go and create something so that this transformation happens everywhere in the world? Not in a million years would I have ever dreamed about going near that stage or that lady or having that conversation if I wasn't fearless now in getting out of my own way. And as recent as last Monday, I spoke with the head of corporate training from Joe Dispenza's team about the possibilities of creating something that can be brought into prisons, not just in Ireland, but globally. That's what happens when you get out of your own way. Now, I've no idea what's going to happen. I've no idea. And it doesn't matter in one sense, because if it doesn't happen with me, the intention is set.
Yeah.
An elevated intention and synchronized emotion, that's when magic happens. So to answer your question, stop letting fear immobilize you and take chances where you wouldn't have dreamt of doing them before.
Yeah. And then what ends up coming, it's like, is mind blowing. Like I could absolutely see you putting that program together with them. Well, don't be surprised when they ask you.
But it's magic. Like seriously, when you get out of your own way. I remember the message coming in from Morgan 2 weeks ago. I picked up my phone. I was after being asleep. I picked up the phone. I looked at it and I put it straight back down. It frightened the life out of me. But that's the magic. That's the magic.
Yeah. Take the leap.
And here we are.
So what's in store for you? You've evolved into an energy healer practitioner. Yeah, tell me about that. Do you do one-on-one sessions? Do you work with groups? Do you work only in the physical, or do you work online too?
Yeah, mostly online. I've again, to kind of tailor the world that I live in. I'm here with these guys, and I'm working full time. What I did recently was I created an online workshop. So Zoom is magic. So we've people connecting then all over the world in a workshop forum that you can share anything with. And so what I did recently was I created a 4-week workshop, which I called Own Your Shit. But it was to teach these guys the definition and stripping it right back down. What is emotions? What are feelings? What are thoughts? What are triggers? What are shadows? And how to rewire your mind. So that's one thing that I did. And it means that it's accessible and easy to people, no matter where they are. And if they want to just tune in and be in their PJs, they can. I do one-to-one sessions, mostly online at the moment, because it's just easier, but energy follows intent. So it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. Energy is felt, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
especially now.
Yes.
Now. Yeah. Wow. And so how do people find you? Or is it on Facebook, or do you have a website?
I have a website, I have a Facebook page, and I have an Instagram page, and they're all pretty much linked, and it's all under the title Everyday Warrior.
Everyday Warrior.
Yeah, that's what I created. I like I said, I wanted people to see that no matter what situation that they were in, no matter how helpless it looks from the outside right now, that you can turn everything around if you're willing to own it.
Yeah.
So
does shadow, does embracing shadow, eating shadow, working the shadow, have a relationship with magic?
Yes, 100%. Because if you can imagine the energetic charge that you have to something that happened, for example, in your life on the 5th of August in 1987, and you're still there and your energy is still there, you do not have that energy available to create the magic here, now. And when you use the magic that is triggers and shadows, when you accept the trigger as your mirror, see what emotions are brought up as a result of that, lean into the shadows, lean into the feelings, lean into the emotions, because all they want to do is to be seen and felt. Shine the light that you are on them, then they have no hold over you. But as long as you try to not feel, as long as you try to do the opposite, you're going to be dancing with these shadows and getting very intimate with them, because they will keep recurring in your life.
Yeah.
An example of what I'm talking about recently, in the mystery school that I'm a part of, one of the other people there triggered me, and when I leaned into this, it's 2019 now, it took me right back. When I really leaned in, it took me right back to 2001, from something as simple as the feeling or the trigger of, I do not want to be controlled. And it's like a map back to your own healing, because everybody has it in here. Everybody has the keys to their own healing. Right back to 2001. And the realization when that happened, it was ironically the night that you were speaking with Amanda. My phone was blowing up because I had been tagged where she had been speaking to you about me. And I had quite literally spoken in the group forum about my experience and explaining to the guys in my mystery school about how the incident in 2001 had been brought up by something as simple, as ridiculously simple as trying to organize a schedule. I mean, that's how simple this is, and so powerful at the very same time. As soon as I spoke this experience, because I have no emotional attachment to it, for me, it's just a story.
Yeah.
This is one of the things I'm really proud of, my capacity to turn my traumas into treasure, and that treasure being able to give that to other people so that they can see what they're still holding on to. The second I got off the call, I had a conversation with my daughter about that specific incident in 2001. Not only did I have my own generational healing here, all of a sudden it made space for this to happen right now. And that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Where do you want to go with all this? Or do you want to create a primary or a singular flow of abundance from doing this work that you obviously are cut out to do? There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about that.
I don't know, to answer your question truthfully. I don't know. I just know that what I'm after learning about myself, my own resilience, my own tenacity, my own capacity to love, my own levels of empathy and compassion, I want those feelings, those emotions to be accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this is going to map out or who I can help. But I mean, if I can help one person by being brave enough today to be vulnerable and show up here, then it's mission accomplished, isn't it? Everything else then is a blessing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep saying yes to stuff.
You say I surrender a lot?
I do now.
Yeah.
Everything I ever let go of, I have left claw marks on.
Yeah, I know that feeling. So one thing I think that people run into, because there obviously is an expanded awareness, still what you talked about earlier, and I don't mean to go in depth with it, but I think it's something that comes up with people. Maybe they can't always see it, but it is that wound, that story. But it's a particular trauma or type of trauma that is heinous, that is horrific. Rape, somebody, a loved one got murdered, or just molestation. Those things that really, really cut to the core. Do you have any advice on how to get to that point of no emotion and see it as a story in cases like that?
It's a big question. These traumas are so painful for the person when they're experiencing them. There's no question about it, and should always be treated as treated in the most compassionate way possible. I think when there is so much, for example, the likes of child abuse, things like this, so much mental abuse linked in with, for example, a topic like that where a person feels that they are on some level to blame for it.
Yes.
Or are accountable for it, or that they did wrong.
Yeah.
That educating people, really educating them about their own emotions and allowing them to compassionately feel their way through this is key. Compassion is key.
Yeah.
It's probably at the root of healing for any major incident like that. Forgiveness, again, it goes hand in hand with compassion. One of the things I touched on earlier on is what we do or how we choose to respond in life when we're coming from a place of, I guess, trying to guard ourselves from the likes of trauma, and how we will have experienced it and how we will have reacted, rather. And that really, really informing people about self-love, about really being the source of their own healing is huge.
Yeah.
Forgiving yourself for not knowing then what you know now.
Yeah.
But it's a huge question. It really is.
Yeah, I think people have done it. I mean, it's just, I haven't seen it really, because at the end of the day, they're all the same quote unquote stories. Whether it's the thing that triggered you back to 2001 or something that's really, really hard to put together, like those things that happen where you say, well, where the hell is God? You know?
Yeah.
But I think we're all getting to that point. And I love what you say too, but you know, you take the what do we do? What are we doing with that emotion? The emotion is a human hybrid trait that's very special and unique. We just been being run by them versus, you know, transforming them into the power of manifestation and transformation. But yeah, I think we're ready for that now. I really do. I think we're getting to a point now because there is that tribe coming together, those connections being made, like what's happened with you since last year. You know, that's a powerful thing. Yeah.
I think one thing about emotions needs to be really acknowledged is that our emotions are there to guide us and not to define us.
Yeah.
And that's where people kind of get caught up. Nobody put you here on this planet to suffer. Nobody up there decided, you know what I'm going to do with Todd Medina? I'm going to stick him in the middle of Hawaii with like no money, and we're going to keep him there. We're going to get him to suffer.
That was the easy part.
But without, for example, in your own case, without so many things falling away from your life, you would never be who you are right now this second. And in the depths of your trauma, in the depths of your fears, in the depths of the dark nights.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a multiplicity to that part too.
In the depths of those nights, when you were wondering what the hell is going down, without them, you wouldn't be who you are now.
That's right.
You wouldn't have who and what you have in your life.
Yeah. And
that's where gratitude is key. But equally, when it comes to the likes of people in really, really tough, traumatic experiences and tough times, the reality is that the only way out is through.
Yeah.
But if you've got to go through it, then compassion is key. Yeah. Self-love is key. Leaning on the people who are around you, going where the love is key. And allowing.
Yeah. That's right. Yes, it is. Compassion's a big word.
I have it tattooed on my arm.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a big word. I mean, those wounds, everything involved with a trauma, an incident such as we're talking about, it's compassion. You know, it's, for instance, like with sexual abuse. You know, I often think about, okay, that person was abused, but who abused the abuser? You know, there is, you know, for all that said that these are just stories, there is a story behind everyone, and one is one. One is one. So
it's never ever to make an excuse for bullshit behavior ever, 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 ever.
Sure.
However, the reality is we are victims of victims of victims of victims. And we live what we learn. And that's why now it's paramount that you own your shit.
Yeah.
It's paramount that if there's something in your life right now that you do not like, you do not love, you do not want, that you take ownership of it and that you decide to change it. That you speak up, you speak your truth. Unarmed truth and unconditional love will definitely set you free. But you have to be the change that you want to see in your world. This is generational change. This is where we smash the wheel. But it's on you. And, you know, it's easy to say that, you know, I am the way I am because this, and this happened. But no, it's not okay anymore. Not if you want to live the life that you came here to experience.
Right. The universe told me when I woke up and went on the streets, don't make excuses, don't lie, and don't blame anything external. And I had to sit with it for a couple of weeks, thinking, well, how can that be fair? You know, but circumstances and consequences, same thing. You know, it is what it is. It doesn't matter how you got here. It's a matter of where you're at and where you're going, like you're saying.
Yeah. And when you make peace with that, the refractory period of going from suffering to joy lessens.
Yeah. And then the other thing is too, which I think is starting to come to the surface for a lot of people. Duncan Alexander was talking about it yesterday, and that is when the shit comes in, the one thing you can say is, well, I know if I can bust through this, on the other side is the equivalent in degrees of elevation, expansion, light, love, whatever, wisdom. You know, so that's a good feeling, even though it doesn't always feel good going through the abyss, but at least we're more conscious of how that equation works now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally think it's a gift being here. The human's the hero, and it's been an honor talking to you. I feel that we'll collaborate more. Our Soulogy, Morgan, Todd, everybody involved will support you in any way to get this incredible message out. I kind of shied away from the word warrior in my own right because I was a little bit alpha, you know, over alpha, wounded masculine. But I like the context of how you use everyday warrior, because it is an everyday responsibility. It never leaves us, and it's not a burden. You know, it's not a burden. It's actually a blessing. So
we got to remind ourselves that that everybody out there right now has a 100% track record. Yeah.
Well, we all chose to come here.
Yeah.
And the whole universe is on the edge of its seat, waiting to see what we're going to do with it. And so that's an honor.
Yeah.
You know, that's an honor. Yeah. Thank you so much. You're a
beautiful,
beautiful lady. And I wish you the best always. And we're here to support you. If you want to expand awareness of anything that you're doing, you know, feel free to share it in the Soulogy group. It's a nice network of active members. And then anything else, you can message me. But I love what you're doing, and it's real. And that's what we need. We need real and raw, and, you know, a few F-bombs, and that's okay too. I'll see you later.
Thanks very much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll do it again if you want to.
Yes, please.
All right. You take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.